Morning, boys and girls. It's Friday, the 26th of April, 2019. Welcome to Lincolnshire's Chapel Hill Marina and this morning's United Kingdom talk. The back is a little bit better today. After I finished the show yesterday, as I said I was going to go swimming, I jumped in my car, got to the swimming pool, and I was kind of bent over. I couldn't straighten up at all yesterday, at least in the morning. And I went into the swimming pool, gave her my card, and for some reason the card wouldn't work. Where I go swimming now, the Jeff Mulder Centre in Boston. It's about 20 minutes drive from here, really. I actually belong to 3 swimming pools up here now. And this one, as I said to you yesterday, it's probably the more expensive out of all of them, but it is larger. And if I pay a little bit extra, you go in the gym side and you get a decent shower in there. There's also a jacuzzi and a steam room and a sauna. I don't like saunas, too dry. I like a steam room. Steam room's all right. Anyway, so to be able to go in that side, you get this card, and like each door has got like a thing on it, and you touch the card on the door and it miraculously opens. Not automatic, got to manually push the door open, but it won't push unless you touch this thing on there, and that wasn't working. So the lady came around and she said, "Oh, I'll sort it out later." So I managed to get in there and got changed in the changing room with great difficulty. I'm bent over like this, trying to take things off and put things on. And then come out of there, and then to get into the pool area, again, you've got to add the card, and of course that didn't work. So I've gone back up the front in my little shorts. So could you let us in here, please? So she's let me in there, and that's it. So I got in the pool with great difficulty, going down those little steps. And the first length and a half, it was difficult because, of course, when you get in the pool, generally, if you've got a bad back or something like that, the water takes all the weight. And it's wonderful. And I got in the pool and I thought, oh, that feels a bit better. But then I laid down to start swimming. And of course, I've stretched myself out again, and it was painful. I did about a length and a half, and then my back simply stopped hurting. So I'm going not at my usual rapid space of, 80 mile an hour. I'm doing about 20 mile an hour, but that's okay. So I'm going down there and then going up again, and gradually I increased the speed until I was at my normal speed, and I completed, in this particular pool, I do about 40 lengths because it's much larger than the one I'm used to in Bracknell, you see. So I've gone up and down 40 times, and that's it. Then I managed to get out, and I straightened up. I straightened up with no problem at all. So I must have pulled something back into place or whatever in the swimming pool. I was well pleased with that. Of course, then I come to try and get out, and the door won't open again. And I had to call one of the girls who worked around the pool, and she let me in and all that business. So I'm going in there, and there was no one in the jacuzzi. Now, I'm not one to sit in jacuzzi with people I don't know. I mean, anything terrible things could happen to you, couldn't they? Terrible things in jacuzzis. I'm sure you've been in one or two of those, Dukey Chrissy boy, eh? So I've gone in the jacuzzi and I've put the bubbles on. There's a button for the bubbles, and I put my back right in front of one of the powerful jet things where the pain was. Oh, it was lovely, dear. It was like a constant massage going on. Bubbles pouring out of this little hole against my back. And then another lady got in. She was a big lady, not fat, big, as in big, with tattoos. I thought, oh yes, this is one of the girls. I'll get on with her. And she sat in the thing with me, and I started talking to her about bad backs and caravans of all sorts of things. So that was nice, being in the jacuzzi. I'm not usually one to sit in the jacuzzi. I just think you're sitting in a bubbling mess of bacteria, to be honest. I don't... The jacuzzi at the swimming pool in Bracknell that I go to is the same temperature as the swimming pool. I don't understand the point of that at all. This was lovely and warm, and I sat in there with my eyes closed before she got in. And that was quite pleasant. Got out. I'm straight up now. Went and had a shower. Come back out. Couldn't get out again of the main door. So again, I've had to knock on the window. She's let me out. I give her the card. I said, "There's something wrong with this card." I said, "It was a replacement a couple of weeks ago because I left my other one at home." She said, so she put it on this machine. She said, "Oh yes." And she pushed some buttons on the computer, and then touched it on this thing. She said, "There you go. That'll work now." "Oh, will it?" Okay. And then I went to the door, and sure enough, it opened. Isn't that clever? What what does it do to the card then? It must be some sort of magnetic thing inside it. No, it's not like you've had to put the card in some sort of machine and push buttons. She simply touched the card on this little thing and then she said, yeah, go try that now. And it worked. Isn't that clever? Very, very clever. So I said, look at this, I can stand up straight again after that swim. I said, I told you. She said, yep, you're absolutely right. Going swimming does help with bad backs. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So I did that, jumped in the car, came back home, did the rest of my plants that I bought the other day with the last bag of earth and that. And that's it really. I might join up to that particular swimming pool on a monthly basis because it'd be a hell of a lot cheaper. I think at the moment I pay £7.50 every time I go. Now, I could go at another place, which is like £3.25, okay? But they have mixed showers and the showers are not particularly very good. They keep stopping for some reason. That plus it's a slightly longer journey. Now, if I sign up to this, I believe it's £29 a month. Well, I mean, often when I'm up here, I might go 4 times a week. So that's 30 quid. Oh, in a week. If I signed up £29 a month, that's going to pay, isn't it? So I might do that. The only thing is, of course, I'm signed up at the other end as well. At my place in Bracknell, which is £46 a month. Did I say a week? Did I say a week? It's £29 a month to join the one up here. I'm already a member of one down south, and that's £46 a week. Now, the reason it's £46 is because there's a gym and everything else involved. Well, I don't use the gym. I only use the pool. But even at £46 a month, that's not actually bad because what's that? That's, I don't know, 12, 20, 22, that's about £23 a week, is it? No, it's about £13 a week, isn't it? 46, 13, 12, 11, about 11 and a half pound a week, which isn't bad, is it really, at that end? And then if it's this end, it's about £6. I suppose that's not bad, is it? So I'm spending £20 a week going swimming. That's all right, isn't it? It's always going to be dearer if you do the pay as you go. And I also think when you join up for a month, these gym memberships and all that business, when you join up for so long, it does make you go thinking, well, it does make me go anyway. Think, oh, well, I've spent the money, I might as well use it. You know what I mean? So there we are. So that seems to work all right. Very quite pleased about that. Let's say hello to some of you this morning. Good morning to Joey Millen. Morning, young Joey. Good morning to Rod Brown is in the house on Facebook. These are all on Facebook Live, I think. Yes, good morning, Rod Brown. Diane Jeb, good morning to you, my love. Joey says, 9:15, you said the show starts at 9:20. I bet I didn't. Now, let me see exactly what I said. You're not reading it properly, Joey. Before you start criticising, dear, read it properly. I bet I haven't said that. Let's have a look. I can look back at what I wrote. One moment, please. Yes, there we are. Starting around 9:20. Does that say starts at 9:20? No, it doesn't. It says starts around 9:20, which is around 9:20. So it could be 9 o'clock, could be 10 past 9. Difficult to give an exact time, you say. Starts around 9:20. So it could start at 9:15, as indeed it did. And incidentally, while you're there pointing out faults, said is spelt S-A-I-D, not S-E-D. Thank you. Start patting up your faults. I shall start pointing out your faults. Thank you very much. Good morning to Dukey Chrissy, who says, good morning to my future husband. Thank you, Dukey. I bet you say the same to every old bloke that you talk to, don't you, Chris? Eh? There's not that much of a gap between us. What, are you about 30, aren't you? 30, 40, 50. It's only like, I'm not even twice your age. So there we are. Morning to Robert Dexter. Good morning to you, says Merry Christmas. Is that an early one or a late one, Rob? Eh? Oh dear. Dukey has been in a jacuzzi but has never been alone. I'm sure you haven't, my love. Several people in there at the same time. Morning to Mike Reese Ponto in Portsmouth. Adon the plumber, very good morning to you. Oh, good morning to Dave Moses. Eat a can of beans and then go and have a bath, dear. It's much cheaper. Oh no, yeah, but that would be smelly air, Dave. You have that problem as well, do you? Have you got a farting problem, Dave? But your missus is happy. Are you married yet? Or is it just a girlfriend? I'm not quite sure what you got. Is it a girlfriend? I bet she's happy when you do that trumping in bed. Isn't that disgusting? That's the one thing that puts me off sleeping with anyone. People trumping in your bed. How awful. It's just dreadful. Thank you. There you are, Mike, sticking up for me there. Thank you, Mr. Ponto. I'm always quite accurate with my little posts there before. It always says around 9:20. Thank you for. Yes, Joey is one of those people who he will sit there during a show and we'll do 10 subjects, have about 25 conversations, and the only thing he will see is something that he thinks is wrong. Perhaps the clock is slightly crooked, or there's an extra button done up. That's the only thing he will see. He watches, as there are a couple of people who do this. There's a couple of people that only watch the show to see if they can point out a fault. How sad are you? Good morning to Jason Carter. Mozami, morning, bro. Bro. Good morning, Mozami. Morning, bro. Jason Carter was in Brighton this morning. Morning, Jason. Not one of my favourite places, Brighton. I've got to be honest, Jason. I like Hove, actually. I do like Hove. Brighton's too busy for me. It's just city, isn't it? Brighton is Brighton, and it really is a city. You know, and along that seafront, very difficult to park or anything like that. There's a Toby Carvery somewhere near Brighton. Is it Stoneleigh or Sandham or something like that? You go down to the pier and turn left, not on the seafront. You know, then up the hill. And just around the corner, there's a nice big Toby Carvery there that I've been a couple of times. Mazami is in Pakistan. Good morning to you, sir. Joey says I make him smile. Well, good. That's the idea. Duke says only the ones that are famous. You see? So he tells several people that I'm going to be they're going to be his husband. I think you had that opportunity while we were in the hospital, actually, together. You know, you could have flung your arms around me, been in tears and said, please take me home. I don't want to be here anymore. But you didn't. You just wanted to be wheeled downstairs for a cigarette. Very, very disappointing, Chris. All right. Morning to Paul Finicky. Good morning. Jason says the marina is nice and quiet. Yeah, but you got Asda, the Asda Marina, haven't you, down in Brighton? Big Asda there. There's nothing wrong with that, mind. I went shopping there a couple of times. Now, why was that? Who was I with? I was with my friend. He was another Jason, actually, Jason Alexander. I went down to visit him a couple of times down in Brighton. So, yeah, we went to Asda down there. Morning to Paul and Lou, watching there on the YouTube. I will always come and see you. Do not worry, Dukey Chris. I will always come and see you in hospital. If I ever end up in hospital, I expect you to do the same, my dear. Okay? Let me just get a little bit more comfortable. Oh, one leg under there. I'm sure. Do you think newsreaders sit like this when they're reading the BBC News? You know, it looks like they're all sitting properly like that. Do you think they got one leg under the other and maybe no trousers on and things like that? I bet they've done that for a laugh. I can't see Hugh Edwards doing that, can you? I bet he farts a lot in bed. You can tell the people who fart in bed, can't you? I don't think you do, Chris. My guess is you don't fart in bed. Tommy Flinwood, he's just joined us. Good morning, Tommy. Someone fell to their death from the marina a few weeks ago. Is that right, down in Brighton? Oh, I don't know much about Brighton, to be honest. I can kind of take it or leave it. It's not my favourite holiday sort of beach at all there, to be honest. Thank you. Good. So I came back here, done my plants, had a bit of lunch, and then had a sleep, and then I went over to my sister's. We were going to go out for a late night walk to a little cemetery that we know. I know it sounds a bit odd, but this particular cemetery is so nice. It's very quiet, and beyond the cemetery is just fields. It's not like going to sort of, I don't know, Putney Vale Cemetery or Streatham Cemetery or something like that. It's surrounded by buildings. It's just surrounded by fields. It's beautiful there, and it's so nice and peaceful. But I got to my sister's, and she's standing there with my brother-in-law, and she's got 2 cups of tea, you know, in Starbucks plastic cup things. She says, "We got to go to Jimmy's unit." That's my nephew. I said, "Oh, okay then." Do you want to go in our car or yours? I said, "Well, I've got mine here now, you know. Might as well go in my car." Incidentally, that's the new car. I think is coming next week. Very exciting. Actually, it's not exciting. I don't find it exciting anymore. But I've got a new car. I think it's coming next week, which is a good job. The hybrid sign on my car has fallen off. Fortunately, my brother-in-law noticed it the other day, and it was like hanging like that on the side of the car. So we told her, it's only held on with double-sided tape. You know how they put like labels on the car? This is like hybrid. It says hybrid and it's in silver, except it's plastic. It's plastic silver. It was held on the car with double-sided tape. I mean, how cheap is that? I don't know if I should, but you see, if I try and put that on myself, I'll probably muck it up. I've got that wonderful No More Nows. Have you ever used that? No More Nows. Comes in a tube. Oh, it's fantastic. You just squeeze it on, push the thing on. If it's heavy, yeah, you've got to have some tape on just to hold it up for a while. And then a few hours later, you take it up and it's stuck solid on the wall. Wonderful stuff. I mean, but I might put that on and I might make it slightly crooked and then they won't be able to get it off. I think I'll just hand it in with the car. Maybe next week. Never mind. Yes, so they jumped in the car and we went to my nephew's unit. He just finished respraying, I think, someone's wing on an old black BMW, and he had to deliver it back to the house. So he jumped in the car and we're following him. And he's going far too fast, of course. I'm not keeping up at those rapid speeds. Oh, I was doing a speed limit, he said. I said, no, you weren't. You were going faster than the speed limit. Otherwise, I would have been up with you. I'm a slow driver now. I don't sort of rush anywhere, as Chris will tell you. Chris was in the car with me when I gave him a lift back from the hospital, weren't it? But yeah, so he delivered the car back and went back to the garage, took him back to his garage, and then he got his car and went out somewhere. He goes out every night, my nephew, normally. So that was all right. Went to Co-op after that because I hadn't had any dinner. I had lunch, but I hadn't had any dinner. And I bought one of the, I don't usually buy those little plastic things with some sort of salady typey pasta type thing. And I bought this cold pasta thing, which was quite spicy with sun-dried tomatoes. I like those. Sun-dried. Have you ever had those? Sun-dried tomatoes. Very tangy. Very nice indeed. So I had that and a bag, sadly, of Doritos. And then back to my sister's house. And she had made, with her homegrown rhubarb crumble and custard. Which was really nice. I had trouble eating it all because I'd had the bag of Doritos as well. And that wasn't a small bag, I tell you that now. Very naughty. Had that. Came back to the caravan. Oh, they were watching this ghost programme. My sister and my brother-in-law. You see, I don't believe any of the ghost programmes. I believe in ghosts. I believe in spirits and all that. But when they go on the telly and every week they're in a different house and they just happen to see ghosts and they're all running around scared, it's all a load of bull. I'm sorry, it is. There's a producer standing somewhere shouting at them, can you look more scared, please? I know it. I don't believe an awful lot that I see on the telly anymore. I really don't. Love Island. Well, I don't watch any of them. Love Island, Big Brother, X Factor. Oh, can you look a bit? We're just going to do the sad bit now. You know the bit where your mother's recently died because she had lung cancer. We're going to film that bit now. Can you make sure you look really sad? No, you're not looking sad. And you see, that's how it is. I can see a producer shouting at someone to do that. So when it comes to those ghost programmes, oh my God, what's that bang? And they're like that. I thought, no, don't believe any of it. I can't watch it. I can't watch it. It's all absolute bull, all of it. And then there's somewhere else and a door slams and they go running down. They go, now, if you were scared of something, would you go running towards it? No. Oh my God, that's really scary. Let's go and have a look. No, you'd run in the other direction, wouldn't you? A lot of people run in the other direction when they see my sister coming towards them, to be honest. They do. They do. Anyway, a couple of doors slammed and then they go running down this corridor and she's looking scared. Oh, please, do me a favour. Please do me a favour. It really doesn't work for me. So I came back here and I watched David Attenborough's his climate change thing on BBC iPlayer, which really does give you some thoughts. I've said before, with this whole climate thing change, could we change it now? Yes. Will we? Probably not. No, because we won't give up things like cars. You know, we won't turn our computers off, and we won't do this, we won't do that, because we got so used to it. I don't think we can stop climate change now. But he was saying, or was it that little girl, Greta? Is it Swedish or Switzerland or Norway? One of those countries she's from. One of the Nordic regions. Is it Nordic? Was it her saying? No, I think it was David Attenborough saying, you see, there's a tipping point. There's a tipping point where we get to the point where we can do something about it. Say, for example, how could I give an analogy? So you say you've got a box of matches, right? And this box of matches is next to a very high heat source. Okay, and you can feel the temperature of the matches going up and up. You get so long to move those matches away from the heat source until they burst into flames. You've got so long. Once they've burst into flames, that's it. There's no going back, right? And that's what David Attenborough is basically saying. There is a tipping point. So that if we reach that tipping point and we go over it, then we can't reverse it. At the moment, we can still reverse it. But no one can ever agree. You got all these world leaders together. They did agree that, was it G7 or something like that a few years ago on some climate change thing. And then Trump came along and tore it all up. So, I mean, if one person can tear it all up halfway through it, you know, what chance have you got? I don't think we can do anything about it. Terrible amounts of plastic in the ocean. It's a really good programme to watch. David Attenborough, Climate Change. Just type it into the iPlayer and you can watch that on there. Okay. And then I watched the latest episode of Line of Duty, which, oh, wow. Well, I didn't expect that. I'm not going to tell you what happens. I really didn't expect what to happen. That was a real shock. So if you're watching that, I'm up to scratch, and you'll know what I mean. Don't come on here and tell, in case people haven't seen it yet. And it's a really good watch. So excellent. All right, let's just go down here. Duke, slow and steady. I hope so, Duke. I hope so, my friend. Oh, there's my sister there, Sharon Butler. She says, I'm a slow driver, too much chatting. Well, we like to have a conversation, my sister, don't we? We like to have a conversation. For some reason, whenever my sister's in the car, our conversation goes around to poo. And I'm not quite sure why that is, and then she starts feeling sick. Joey says they're all the same, those ghost channels. They're crap. I think they are. They are really, really rubbish. Good morning to Brad, who says, I live a boring life. Well, never mind, Brad. I'm happy with it. I hope you're happy with yours. Good morning to Ray Reynolds joining us this morning. Morning, Ray. Mike says, I don't think you can blame climate change entirely on humans. It's a natural phenomenon too. I think it is too. I think so as well. Volcanoes exploding and all that. We might have been through this cycle before, for all we know, mightn't we, you know? Adam. There's Adam. As a spiritual, I find it offensive that they do ghost hunting shows and always TV medium. Did you know the average medium when working for a church gets between £7 and £8 per read? We often have people come to the church to learn how to link with spirits because they think they can make a fortune from it. Is that right? I'm not surprised at that, to be honest. To me, it's not a make money thing. As I said to you at the beginning of the show there, I do believe in spirits. I do believe in ghosts. I've had a couple of experiences myself. But to turn it into an entertainment TV show, I think is wrong. I think you're taking the mick out the spirits, to be honest. And but I don't believe half of it. I don't believe any of it, really. When you see it on the telly, no, that's not happened. It's all contrived, you know, like Love Island. Oh, you're not looking sexy enough, please. Can you go and put some smaller shorts on? Bit like that, you know. Bit like that, really. Morning to Claire joining us. The blue jacket is back on again. That's right, Claire. It's the only one I've got up here. Morning to Paul and Lou this morning in sunny Birmingham. Good morning to you two as well. All right, and Juan joins us as well. A very good morning to Juan this morning. Right, anyone texting in this morning? No one's texting in this morning. Okay, fair enough. Got some news stories for you today. Now, look at this. Some naughty lads have won on the lottery, but they're having trouble getting their payout. Two friends in the Daily Mirror and some of the other stories, some of the other newspapers this morning. Two friends who bagged £4 million on a scratch card have been celebrating for 4 days, but may not now get the winnings. They've already spent a load of money on booze and drink, I suppose. These lads, Mark, John from Greater Manchester. I thought there were 3 of them. There's 3 of them in the picture. Oh well. Pace, what's the name? Pals Mark and John from Bolton, Greater Manchester, won the incredible sum after buying a £10 scratch card on Easter Monday. I didn't think you could win millions of pounds on a scratch card. I thought it was thousands. I always understood with those scratch cards, it was like 10 or sort of £25,000. They're saying here that they won 4 million. Anyway, however, the payout is on hold as Camelot investigate whose debit card they used to buy the ticket at a Waitrose in Clapham, South London. Neither of the pair are said to hold a bank account, something which is needed to have a debit card. When asked whose card it was, they said a friend called John. John. It's our mate John. That's the worst name you could use, isn't it? They said it was a friend called John. They gave them the cash to buy the ticket on his card. They gave him the cash. He bought it on the card. Well, why would you do that? Why not just buy it with the cash if you've got the cash? Something wrong there, isn't there? Cabinet officials are said to be confident that the scratch card is legitimate, but want to ensure that the debit card has not been stolen. But even while the investigation continues, Godram and Watson, they're the 2 boys, have been celebrating with champagne and cocktails. Godram told The Sun, "I'm off to see the Queen. This is brilliant. I deserved a bit of a break. We're made for life. What, £4 million? Well, if you're careful, you will be. I can't wait to spend the lot. I'm going to buy luxury properties and look after myself." His pal Watson added, "This win's unbelievable, but we deserve the money fair and square. We were screaming in the streets, or like little girls, honestly." Watson was on the Bolton news site's Bolton's Most Wanted list in July 2017 and was, we reported, wanted on warrant for failing to appear regarding the offence of burglary. Sorry, I'm moving around a bit. My back's hurting a little bit. Godram has 22 convictions for 45 offences, according to reports by the Bolton News and The Sun. A Camelot spokesman told the Mirror Online, "Security procedures form a key part of the process of validating a winning ticket to ensure we maintain the integrity of the National Lottery. Should there be any doubt surrounding the validity of a claim, we would undertake a thorough investigation to ensure we pay out to the rightful ticket holders." So they've spent all that money, living it up. But they're not sure whether they're going to get the money or not now, because they might have paid it with a stolen bank card. Dear me, dreadful. Juan says he's a believer in ghosts and spirits, of course, particularly. Yes, I think a lot of people do believe in ghosts. A lot of people do believe in ghosts, I have to say. Juan, yeah. I mean, as I say, I've had a couple of experiences myself over the years, which was spoken about on a couple of shows. And I definitely believe there is another plane of life. Funnily enough, me and my brother-in-law were talking about this the other day. And like when you're walking down a street and you think you're on your own. Maybe not. Maybe you're not on your own. Maybe I'm not on my own here, sitting in this little room talking to you. I could be surrounded by different life forms on other planes of life, perhaps in different times. There could be thousands of people surrounding me at the moment in a different plane of life, whereas they are existing in this same space as me, but perhaps in a different time and on a different level, and I can't see them and they can't see me. It's an interesting thought, isn't it? Really interesting thought. Good morning to Ross, who's on a break at work in the canteen at Tesco's. And a person said to me, does he ever stop talking? I said, no. Hope Lincoln is nice. Gorgeous here. Of course they don't stop talking. It's a bloody chat show. I mean, what good would it do if you turned on, I don't know, Jonathan Wass? Turned on Jonathan Wass and he just sat there and looked at the camera. What would be the point of that? Does your friend have a brain or two? I'm always amazed at people who say that you do talk a lot. It's a blooming talk show. What do you think's going to happen? I could just sit here and look straight at the camera for an hour. Dear me. Morning, Ross. Jason says, you cannot pay lottery with debit cards at the till. I thought it was cash only. I doubt that, actually, Ross. And I'll tell you why. I had a few experiences now of places, myself and actually my friend yesterday. My friend yesterday was in Islington. And he's gone in this shop to buy a coffee. You know, overpriced in Islington. You know what the people are like in Islington. Have you been to Islington, Ross? What a dump. What an absolute dump. Now, you or I would have trouble affording a property in Islington. They are horrendously expensive in Islington. But you walk around there at night and tell me that you feel safe. No, you don't. Islington is a dump. I put a post actually on my Facebook the other day about places that people try to impress you with when they tell you that they live there that are actually dumps. And I listed places. Oh, people didn't get the joke. Islington was one of them. Camden Town. Dalston in East London. King's Cross. Brixton. Where else are we? Streatham. All these places that are really, really expensive, but you wouldn't want to walk around there at night. They are dumps. Absolute dumps. And that was one of the places there that I was talking about there. And people didn't get the... Oh, they're all defensive. Oh, well, I live here and it's very gentrificated. Oh, please do me a favour. Make any difference? Don't make any difference? And you go out to these places and what, you know, you might go up into their little flats, you know, £750,000, and you go out and what do you see out the window? Someone else's flat. How whoopee-doo. Here I am in a dirt cheap caravan looking out onto fields and greenness and trees and beauty. All for £8,000. Not £750,000 looking in someone else's window, which is like a few feet away from yours. Awful. Awful. And you would not want to walk around Islington at night. Knife crime and all this going on. Dreadful place. Dreadful. Awful. How did I get onto that? Islington. Yes. So my mate got out the car. He went into this coffee shop. How much is that, please? Like £3 for a blooming coffee. Do me a favour. £3. Take a flask. £3. Anyway, so he's got the cash out. I'm so we're cards only. Oh, really? Yeah. And he's had to pay with his card. £3. Cash, no cash. Now, the same thing happened to me recently in Legoland. You go to Lego, take your little girl, what's her name? Is it Emily? Is it Emily, your little girl? Take her to Legoland at some point. I think she's probably old enough to go there. It's an expensive day out, I must warn you. But when it comes to buying a hot dog or a cup of tea or an ice cream from one of the stands, cards only, no cash. Don't take cash. Funnily enough, I even pumped up my tyres. Last week I had a bit of a flat tyre. That was at Sainsbury's petrol station in Bracknell. I got onto the machine. And you have to pay. But you can only pay with a code, which you would get inside, or you tap your 20 pence. You tap your card on it, and it sucks £20, 20 pence straight out your account. Honestly, a card for 20 pence. So this is starting now. This is on a roll now. You watch. The whole get rid of cash thing is starting to happen now. Okay, if you can't go and pay for cash for a cup of coffee or an ice cream in Legoland, or to pump your tyres up, you've got to touch the card for 20 pence. Cash is on the way out now. It's starting now. You watch. You watch. I mean, it doesn't really bother me now, to be honest. It would have done in the past, not now. Doesn't really bother me that now. I still like to pay certain things with cash because you know where you are, don't you? If you've got £20 in your pocket, once it's spent, that's it. You go home. If you've got a card, you just keep touching it. I know that managers in bars and pubs, they love it when the cards come out because people lose all track of how much they're spending. You go into a pub, I don't know, 20 quid or whatever, you spend that 20 quid, all right, well, I'm out of money, I'm going home now, bye-bye. That doesn't happen with cards. They just spend and they spend and they spend. And managers and that in pubs love it when cards come out like that. They really do. Cash is over. Cash is over, I'm afraid. Juan, he says, here in the States, it's the same all over on those instant scratch-off cards. Only difference is the colours and style name of the gambling cards. Oh, yes, I'm sure they've got them all over the world, these little cards. But I understood that it was like thousands of pounds, not millions, that you won on a scratch card. We have a big lottery, the lotto. You know, that's millions of pounds. I did not know that you could win millions on a little scratch card or something like that. Claire, who says, wouldn't it be great if the ticket came out of a stolen wallet and they would have given themselves away? Oh, I'm sure it probably was, Claire. Thieves, dear, thieves. Good morning to Peter Lake in Woodall Spa bus stop at the moment. He's off to Lincoln, going to the job centre. Oh, good luck with that, Peter. What a lovely day. See you soon from Peter Lake here. He's just up the road here in Woodall Spa. Good morning to Peter. Juan says, billions of spirits on call eternal. There are billions of spirits all over the world. There really are. And Jason Carter indeed says that cash is history. Yes, I think cash is history. It will be history. Mike Reese-Ponto calls this the happy talk show. Well, we try to be as happy as we can. We try to be as happy as we can. Just a reminder, gang, if you find your messages aren't coming out, not every single one. I don't read every single message out, but if you find you keep sending messages and none of them are being read out, it may be that they're not coming through to my chat system. Please text in on the texting number that will come through on my little text phone. Okay, 07551 259 675. 07551 259 675. Okay. Dave says we've got coffee shops up here in West Yorkshire which are cash only. Well, I'll have to move, Dave. I'll have to move. Mind you, we've only just started getting that new thing called electricity. Do you get BBC Two as well? What, in colour? Have you got colour? You got colour television there? I've got to have the aerial done on my caravan. Sometimes the picture breaks up. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but one of those things. Good morning to Mike Conti, joining us this morning. A very good morning to you, sir. Young Mike Conti is in the house. Ross indeed says cash is on the way out. And loads of Tesco's home delivery going to bags only. Right, give a year and no more plastic bags. Start saving them now for bin bags. Well, funnily enough, before it's been a couple of years now, before the carrier bag ban came in, I got about, I think I kept going for about 2 years. I had so many carrier bags stuffed, which I use as bin liners. I do use them as bin liners. Bin liners are expensive, aren't they? How much do they cost? I don't know how much they cost. Right, another news story now. Now, would you be connected to one of these? All right. This was a story from yesterday on the BBC News site. Scientists have developed a brain implant. We will be Cybermen one day. I'm sure we will be Cybermen one day. And we will be old Cybermen, old school Cybermen that don't have to be politically correct like Doctor Who is now, because that's become just a joke, Doctor Who. Which is a shame because Jodie Whittaker is a fantastic doctor, but whoever's writing the storylines is insistent on diversity and being politically correct. Bring back the bloody monsters, dear. We want to be entertained, not taught on Doctor Who. Thank you very much. Anyway, scientists have developed a brain implant that can read people's minds and turn their thoughts into speech. Yes. Would you have one of those put in? The team at the University of California on the BBC News website, San Francisco, says the technology is exhilarating. They add that their findings could help people when disease robs them of their ability to talk, which, of course, we saw probably the most famous person of that would be the the wonderful scientist that we lost a little while ago. You know, the one in the wheelchair. What's his name again? You know the one I mean. And he had like a little voice box put in there, and you could hear him. Doctor. Oh gosh, what's his name? I can't remember his name now. I think he died last year. Very, very intelligent man. Wonderful, wonderful man. He could have had one of these put in, and then his thoughts would turn into speech, you see. How does it work? Well, it says the mind-reading technology works in 2 stages. Now, would you have one of these put in, though? That's the question. First, an electrode is implanted in the brain to pick up electrical signals that manoeuvre the lips, tongue, voice box and jaw. Wow, 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 like that, I suppose. Then powerful computing is used to stimulate how the movements in the mouth and throat would form different sounds. This results in synthesized speech coming out at a virtual vocal tract. Why do it like that? It says you might think it would be easier to scale the brain for a pattern of electrical signals that code each word. However, attempts to do so have only had very limited success. Instead, it was focusing on the shape of the mouth and the sound would produce that allowed scientists to achieve a word first. So that's interesting. It says it's not perfect. And if you listen to this recording of synthesized speech, shall we have a little listen to it? Would that play? Let's try that. Let's try and play a little bit of that.
The proof that you're seeking is available in words.
Let's try that again, shall we?
The proof that you're seeking is available in words.
See, that's how it sounds. It's a bit dodgy sounding, isn't it? I couldn't really tell what they were saying then. It goes on, you can tell it's not crystal clear. The recording says the proof you are seeking is not available in books. Well, I didn't hear that. Did you? Stephen Hawkins, that's the bloke. That's the bloke I think we lost last year, wasn't it? Oh, thank you, Juan. Very, very intelligent man, but he could have had one of these. And they reckon it would be useful for people with motor neuron disease, brain injuries, throat cancer, some strokes, and neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson's and multiple sclerosis, which I've got a couple of friends actually with multiple sclerosis, and someone has got what's that thing now? I can't remember. Another similar condition where someone is stuck in a wheelchair for all time, unfortunately. And but those people can talk at the moment. You see, you can lose that. But would you have one of those put in if there was nothing wrong with you? I mean, can you just imagine it? Going to sort of or just walking out in the street, looking at someone and thinking, "Cool, that's all right," and it would just come out your mouth suddenly. "Poor, that's all right." Or you could be talking to someone who you dislike, and this thing would kick in and just start telling them what you're thinking about them. I don't think it's a good idea, do you? How would you? You would have to block those thoughts somehow, wouldn't you? So that they don't know what you're thinking. Where are we now? Andy, good morning to... thank you very much, Andy. Stephen Hawkins was the person. Absolutely, you're right there. Dave spoils himself sometimes by watching the snooker in black and white on BBC Two. Nothing better. How can you know who's winning with that? Oh dear. Brad says they've had that for 15 years, this speaking thing in the brain. Very clever. Very, very clever. Tommy, I would only have it for one day just to get into your thoughts, Mr. Chris Reardon. It's frightening having something like that, I think. I think it's frightening, absolutely, having something like that. Right, we'll do a news story, and then where we're off today, I've got to go down to the swimming pool. I've left my pair of shorts down at the pool. I hope they've managed to find them. Nice pair of shorts. Someone gave them to me, actually. My best mate gave them to me, actually, when he lost a bit of weight and I didn't. Now, talking of losing weight, something's putting on weight. The Hubble telescope. The universe is expanding about 9% faster than expected. That's what I've got in similarity with the universe, you see. It's expanded by 9%. I think I have over the last few weeks, to be honest. I'm a bit concerned I'm not going to get I don't think I can get my jeans... Unless I can lay down on the bed, I'm not going to be able to get my jeans on today. I'm still having difficulty dressing because of the bad back. The universe is expanding about 9% faster than expected, astronomers studying from NASA's Hubble telescope say. Experts have used a new technique to quickly study 70 special types of stars in our nearest neighbouring galaxy that can be used to measure distances across space. This is in the Daily Mirror this morning. Researchers use this to refine the calculations of the Hubble constant, which reflects how fast the cosmos is expanding as time passes. I wonder how this affects us. Does it affect us, the fact that the universe is expanding? It says it's not what they expected, so there we are. How that affects us, I don't know. How would that affect us, the universe expanding? Not at all. I don't know, really. Don't know. Juan, last year while I was in Medellin, Colombia, there were many instances of humans of sorts there, of having arrived to downtown Medellin with computers wired within and without their brains. That's very scary. Very, very scary indeed. No, there's no text from you, Heidi. No text at all. You must have rung the wrong number, dear. I've got no text at all this morning, funnily enough. No text, except from Simon Keane has sent me a text. He says, on the subject of the toilet-themed restaurant yesterday, where they have ice cream served in toilet-shaped bowls, I bet they've had pistachio and butter pecan. Avoid Rocky Road. Thank you very much, dear. No, there's no text at all this morning on here. Look, no texts. Where are we? I'll show you. No text. The last one was from Simon yesterday. You can't see that. Yes, there you go. No text from you, Heidi, at all, my dear. Is that not working? Is anything working in here today? God's sake, man, nothing's working. All right, I did have one more little thing. What would you do if you caught your son or girl looking at dodgy stuff on your iPad? This is in the Daily Mirror. Mum's furious text as she catches son doing something very naughty on her work iPad. Here we go. A teenager was completely mortified after receiving an awkward text from his mum telling him off for watching porn on her iPad. Liam, who's 19 from Edinburgh, made the mistake of using his mum's work's iPad, which meant she found out straight away. Understandably, she wasn't too impressed and sent him a furious message. The text read, Liam, I don't know really how to say this, so I'll just say it. You cannot watch porn on my work iPad. I could get sacked for this. Now, I know we've got parents on here now. Have you ever caught your child or children, no matter what age, watching dodgy stuff on your phone or iPad? What did you do? I mean, what do you do? I'd be too embarrassed to say anything, I think, wouldn't you? What have you done if you were? Has that ever happened to you? He shared a screen grab of his mum's message on Twitter with the caption, how's your Monday going? With a crying with laughter emoji. People were embarrassed for the teen while others just found the whole thing hilarious. You see, I'd just sit there and laugh. One wrote the stuff of nightmares, another added ha ha busted. A pal added rookie mistake bro. Another replied choked on my tea reading that. One particularly cheeky follower joked, Liam, I'm your mum's boss and I'm saying it is okay to watch porn on our iPad. A new documentary has been looking into what really happens on the sets of porn movies, and it shows a very different side to those naughty videos. Channel 5's The Sex Business, I don't know of that programme. Porn stars show that filming is almost secondary to the process. The most important part of making porn movie is the photographs. Not only that, but a lot of what viewers see is totally fake, so I'm sure it is. The pictures are the important bit. That's what get people interested. So I don't know if it's ever happened to you. Don't know if something like that has ever happened to you. All right. Okay, Brad comes from Plymouth Rock of 1620 in America. Is that where you're from, Brad? All right, okay. Good morning to Michael Pullman. No notifications on YouTube. There you go, Michael. You must have them both switched on, dear. Sometimes that happens, I'm afraid. Sometimes we don't get the notifications, all right? And Juan says the universe has always been in expansion. Okay, doke. let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. Happy birthday on this Friday, the 26th of April 2019. Just 6 today. We got Shaun Darren Hanson. Good morning, Shaun. 51 today. Used to be a Black Cat regular. Good morning to you, Shaun. I hope you're doing well. Happy birthday to you. Mark Lenson today is 32 years old. Richardoug Jones, happy birthday to you. Lee Hart is 58 today. Carl Connell, that's a lovely photo, Carl. Happy birthday to you. And Damon Hall's birthday today as well. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, gang. Can you hear the RAF boys are practicing at the moment overhead? Mike says perhaps the boy watching the porn, perhaps it was gay porn, and he wanted to hint to his mum that he was gay. Oh, is that what you did? Left magazines around the house, did you? Did you, Mike? Is that right? All right. Thanks very much, boys and girls. That's it for the show today. Lovely to see you. Hopefully back at some point tomorrow. Sometimes we don't quite have time on a Saturday to do a show. I'll be hosting karaoke tonight. Karaoke is at... I haven't got the picture on here, unfortunately. If you want to join us in North London tonight for karaoke at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Friday night karaoke starts at 8:30 and goes right the way through until midnight. I'm actually not up here next week. I'm down south for the whole week next week. That's because it's my mate's birthday, and I'm taking him out for an afternoon tea next week, which we're looking forward to for his birthday. I think it's either on Wednesday or Thursday. Plus, I've got to go and try and sort the car out. Oh, and I've got a little scan on Monday about just a little. Well, I had the problem with my stomach a while back, but it seems to have cleared. So I don't think anything's going to go wrong. That'll probably be all right. My stomach. I'm not expecting to see anything on an X-ray screen worrying or anything like that. Well, fingers crossed anyway, so that's on Monday. But hopefully I'll see you at some time tomorrow. Oh, I probably will actually, because I don't have to go to the bank anymore on a Friday. They recently changed the way that I'm paid at work. So it just goes straight into the account now, rather than getting cash and then having to go down the bank on Saturday. I don't have to do that anymore, so I will have time tomorrow. Yes, I'm sure I'll see you again at some time tomorrow morning. As I say, it's a possibility that the text thing isn't working this morning because there's no text at all coming through. Absolutely no text at all. Just a reminder, you can't ring this phone, okay? It doesn't receive calls at all. If you try and ring it, nothing will happen, okay? It just won't ring. But the texts usually come through on there. There's no text at all. If Maureen might be in the pub later, she'll let me know if she sent a text and it didn't come through for whatever reason. Okie doke. Thanks ever so much, gang. I'll see you again very soon on the next show, hopefully sometime tomorrow morning. Have a lovely Friday. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye now.